Hello, hello, my dear fellow thuncast members. Welcome to the thuncast. It's honestly really been a very long time. I can see that the last time I posted was a couple of months ago. Wish that couple was a long time ago at this point. Honestly, I'm able to say that a lot of things has changed within my life for the better and a little bit for the worst. However, some things have been adjusted. I'm finally able to be active more and still trying to be. But I will try my best to fulfill my duties and also keep the promise I had from the many people that had worked with me a long time ago. Still performing the thuncast up to this day. Now, we have a visitor. A visitor that you all may know. He's very much a pro in Caldega. What the hell happened to my vocabulary? He's very much a pro in Caldega. He's a warrior that cannot be triumphed. He can never go down with mere bolter wounds or out-rallied by multiple men. He has the morality of 1,000 soldiers. He can never go down without a fight, and if he does go down, he will be spawned by the Corn himself to go charge into battle. I give you the man, the myth himself, Sonito! Sonito, how are you doing here, my fellow friend?
I'm doing great today. How are you doing today, Thunburn?
I'm doing quite well. Honestly, it has actually really been a very long time. And I have one question for you, my fellow friend. Did you miss these wonderful Thuncast?
Oh, absolutely. I binged watched all of them. Missed them, man. But I missed watching those gameplay videos of yours. You know? Can't wait to see you back at it.
Thank you. Much appreciated. I honestly really tried to go for pursuing some other content just to get our game out there, see what people think of it, see what people think of the gameplay and actually a visual perspective on how it feels to actually play a Space Marine, much less of a librarian. Now, when I say a lot of things has changed, I mean a lot of things has changed. Like, the game has gotten updated, a lot of stuff has been brought into fruition, the devs have been keeping their promises by keeping the game updated and actually adding new stuff every once in a while. And honestly, I will say that we are nearly there to that golden age due to some problems with Caldega. But that shall not be able to stop us from ever so entertaining ourselves from playing Caldega. Now, allow me to say, the other parts that have been changed is the Thuncast. We'll be going on something new, and soon we'll have some new projects, a bunch of new stuff, and a very few things that I would like to try out with this new Thuncast. And by the way, this will be officially episode 1 of season 2. So, let us begin. Sinito, tell us, how has your day been going so far?
Been going great, man. Been playing Caldega, having fun, having a great time. How about you, man?
Been doing well, trying my best to fulfill my duties, especially when I'm trying to gun for the role of Commissar. I fulfilled my duties as a librarian, and as I fully wonder what I should do for my let's just say a new life that I'm now living, I must answer myself. Do I want to become a Space Marine? A lot of people would want to go for that fact, but me? I already done lived it. So, with me getting a new start, I'm gunning for it, and I will have the full will and determination to do so. So, Sonito, what would you like to talk about today on this new session of Season 2 on Thuncast?
I don't know, man. Just waiting on you to throw something at me. Throw me anything. I'm ready.
Okay. So, let me ask you this. With the new recent events of Chaos, how would you give the rating to them? Or give us a fair share on what you think of Chaos is now and how is it doing today?
It's gone better significantly from the previous leadership. Big change that is really helping Chaos right now is the leadership changes that were brought in from the Imperium, such as Chris Bell, Brandon Pitt, Blastoise 1209, and SSV. All those people are very important people to Chaos right now, quite literally carrying it on their backs, doing everything, making it is the best it possibly can be right now.
Yes. I have been seeing the new changes of the leadership and actually seeing that they're doing absolutely wonders. I'm actually starting to hear now that they've actually included the Imperium of Man Space Marines to join Chaos in case if they get out-rallied. And honestly enough, that is great. That is great that they're doing so. When I was a Space Marine, we were having a simple discussion among that, and we actually had some thoughts upon it. I do not simply remember the conversation, but one was guaranteed is that we would have been able to simply go on Chaos Team and help them. Technically, just turn the tides of war for them. We would still be loyal to the Imperium, but we would just need to do that simple change in order for us to make entertaining for the newcomers of Caldega and for the old. Speaking of which, for the old, how long have you been here, Sonito? Honestly, when I remembered you, you were but a mere cultist, and then you rose into the ranks of Space Marine pretty much quickly, and soon you were even able to rival against the... But I do apologize for having a bad memory here, but was it the Dark Angels? Yes, you rivaled against the Dark Angels, even as your own self. When even by yourself, actually. So do tell us how long you've been here.
I've been here for a pretty long time. I do remember joining the genre at least around February last year. I first joined when a friend of mine in a different genre invited me to join the Necrons, which I joined, and I wasn't really particularly active in, which I just kind of was there for a little bit and didn't really do much. And then after a little while, I joined Chaos and started going from there. I joined the Emperor's Children, started going through the aspirancy, and on April 6th of 2023, I became a Chaos Space Marine. So, that's my story.
Very much detailed indeed, especially with the date. Oh, and I do apologize, and this is also late, but when we're making some changes, we will be adding a little bit of cursing. It will not be much, but it will be probably entertaining if we ever choose to use it or not. Probably too late to also mention, but hey, we're starting a new Season 2 with Episode 1, and let's set it out with some mistakes and glory. But very interesting, though. Can't believe you were able to actually remember every single bit of detail even when you were starting to join. Mostly some people would just only go on join and just play the game and, try to gun for something in the IOM community. Which also kind of reminds me of something. Whatever happened to all the oldies?
All the oldies, huh?
Veterans, veterans preferably.
Veterans.
I am aware. Oh, sorry.
Veterans of Chaos, yeah. Really difficult topic to talk about, but a lot of them were really retarded. So, a lot of them got removed, such as our Lord and Savior Genius, and some other unsavory figures, such as what's his name, Fulgrim. And, other than that, not many remarkable people back then. A lot of the people back then who were in leadership positions or were Chaos Space Marines were really bad. So, it's gone a long way. So.
True. But not true in the retarded part. They may have been, something else back in the day. But they were people. And those people were actually trying to make something of a difference for Chaos. That was just in their image. Now they were misguided. and must have experienced so much within their lives that they couldn't be able to express it in Caldega in a kinder form. And even though that it would have been a rough patch for them, and eventually they would have been punished or smite by Aldo himself, they had fulfilled their duties, on my opinion, and they tried their best to try to fulfill them. Honestly, I would have said that they could have done better, but there are many secrets that must be kept secret, and therefore we can't allow ourselves to simply say that whoop-de-doo, so much information leaked on why they were gone. But let's move on from that topic. Other than that, really, what would you say that Chaos would really need to improve on? Could you now say it now, or could you not say it when?
Could you repeat the question? Your mic cut out.
Oh, my bad. What do you think that Chaos should improve themselves on?
Big thing is activity right now. Because the majority of the Chaos player base right now is the Trader Militaris. Well, not exactly. Hold on. The Vanguard of Ruination and the Black Legion are the main activity right now for the whole of Chaos, which means there's little to no cultists running around doing anything. But hopefully, as you've seen in the genre Discord, the Armored Core is being added relatively soon, I'd say. So hopefully that sparks up some activity in Chaos, and hopefully even some more in AM, so, I can fight some more people. And I do have a little saying, right? Sometimes you gotta hiding in the blue, right? And you hide in the blue, and then sometimes once you're out, you're all better now, right? Am I right, Thunberg?
You are right about that. And honestly, you're kind of referencing something which I'm trying to remember. Could you elaborate real quick? I do apologize. Right here.
Oh no, it's just a saying of mine,
Oh,
Just like
okay.
I'm the king of my best friends.
How true. How true. But really, the armored core. If I'm correct, those are the guys with the vehicles, correct?
Yep, that is correct, Dunburn.
The day when vehicles get added into Caldega, by the way, rip tut. What was that vehicle again?
Excuse me?
I'm kind of trying to remember that vehicle.
It is a Lehman Russ. Lehman Russ, Thunburn.
No, it's not Lehman Ross. It's that vehicle that we had from ever since the game was
I remember now, the Sentinels. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I remember my old days as a cultist, using a long last, retaking Firebase with a long last, and sniping the guardsmen out of the Sentinels.
Yes.
Oh, what a time.
Honestly, those Sentinels were the very first actual gunning vehicles of Caldega. And honestly, they had tried to fulfill their roles. They really just didn't do as much damage, and I really think they should have done more damage. But hey, it was a prototype. And honestly, if it had stayed here and probably exceeded, we could have been able to fully use it to make those gruesome charges. And better yet, you would have been able to still relive those sniping days. But that is not the vehicle that I'm talking about, though. That's gone. Because it was the very first vehicle, well, not very first on my opinion, though. Very first vehicle that would have been able to travel from point to point and being able to capture it and move on. I forgot what you call it. The Taurox.
I believe it's called the Taurox, yes.
Taurox. Okay, the Taurox. That vehicle has been through day in, day out. And it used to be when the guns at the very top would have been able to be usable. Honestly,
yep.
Even
but
if
sadly, with the gun system change a couple months back, it unfortunately glitched it. So,
yep.
And more recently, they had to remove it entirely because it was just too buggy and the cars would not spawn in the chaos spawn. So for balancing purposes, they decided to get rid of it entirely, which I think was a very good step in the direction of the development. So,
And rightfully so. Honestly, it deserves a Rick May funeral, as it was the one vehicle that could have been able to turn the tide of war, allow us to travel to point very quickly with very ease, and be able to cap that point and move on to the next. Honestly, it was the very thing that was called an escape vehicle, a transport vehicle of sorts. But it is no more. Maybe one day it will return, but not as what we remembered it. God rest its soul. The vehicle grave, the Turoks. But however, with an armored core soon to be added, we shall be expecting tanks, moving fortresses, and better yet, and I mean this really, better yet, armor placements, artillery! I can't wait to rain down hell upon the enemy.
can't wait to see that tooth on burn in your commissar morph. Can't wait to see it.
Well, that will be due time, and I'll be glad to be able to use the glory of it. Which also would honestly say, what would be the plans just to recruit cultists? Like, I understand that the Marines are trying to help, but you then stated that the cultists would need to be more active. What would you say, and I mean this, what would you say if half the Imperium would either forcefully or be suggested to join Chaos?
I think it's neither of those options. I believe in the coming future that advertisements for Chaos will be sent out among the Roblox channels to where a conglomerate of cultists will be able to rally under the banners of Chaos and retake Firebase with long lasts.
Well,
A big thing is
Go ahead.
the advertisements will most likely be administered on the time where Warhammer is most popular, such as the Henry Cavill show, which is coming out this year or so, and Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2.
Ah, yes, I can't wait for those two things to come out. Honestly, Warhammer 40k itself has been forsaken for so long. People have been looking for other genres like Star Wars and Halo, and the list can go on. People had simply forgotten the name of what Warhammer or what war really means. Henceforth, the creation of Warhammer. Henceforth, the creation of Warhammer 40k Tabletop. And henceforth, the other Warhammer 40k games that used to spark back in its days of glory. With this new era and the new generation, and with the upcoming years, we are soon to be expecting that Warhammer 40k would probably be seen by the young eyes, where we can finally be able to be noticed once more. And when those days come, the people will be rolling in. The fan base will be crazy. The glory of what Warhammer 40k that was shall be truly revived in its golden glaze of glory. What the hell happened to my vocabulary? As I was saying, golden days of glory.
Yep. That will be awesome. I can't wait to see it. Just a whole conglomeration of cultists rallying behind the banners of Chaos, retaking Firebase and the canisters.
Yep. You suddenly cut out there, SonitoK.
Unlucky. As I was saying, I can't wait to see the conglomerate of cultists rallying under the banner of Chaos, retaking Firebase and retaking the canisters.
And that will be the glory days that we'll soon be expecting. Just the one thing that we all need to have in this time of era is patience. The day will come and we shall finally be able to resurrect what was once lost in time. Which, if you kind of think about it now, have you ever heard of the Halo series? No.
I have heard of it. I have heard some very unsavory things about the show.
Yes, I've really heard actually quite a good margin of it. Honestly, they really said it was, well, not living to its expectations, especially with the main actor who plays the Master Chief himself. Don't want to put on the helmet, or leave the helmet on. But really, the real reason why I'm actually bringing up this topic, do you think that the people would see bad eyes for this Warhammer 40k series, or good eyes for this series? What do you think?
I believe in good eyes, quite honestly, because Henry Cavill is a very talented actor from all the other roles he's been portrayed in, such as Superman and Superman. You know, and there's really no basis to go off of, because me personally, I don't know what character Henry Cavill will be playing in a show. But the thing is, with the Halo TV show, the actor is playing Master Chief, which in the video game doesn't take off his helmet. Whereas in the show, he takes off his helmet quite a freaking lot. Yeah. So.
And that just brings the please to everyone. It's like honestly seeing the handsome eyes of God and they just tell him to put it back on! Put it back on! Or you know what? I honestly feels like when Dream had revealed himself, and that alone is just how it actually happened in Halo. I feel like that's the case. Because, wait a minute. In Halo, much less some characters don't take off their helmets, but in Warhammer 40k, it almost feels okay just to take off their helmet, or to leave it on. What would you say on that?
For me, I think Warhammer is a very obnoxious universe. Very over the top, very flashy, very, it's trying to show off being badass and, quite honestly, sometimes kind of flippin' stupid. Whereas in Halo, they take it much more seriously. Whereas it's mostly just you shoot the aliens and there's real loss. Real loss in, humanity being destroyed by the Covenant. But then they come back and it's a great, great story and I love it a lot.
True that. Halo, within my childhood, was honestly the very first game that I ever played. Second to Warhammer 40k, and that was before I ever read the lore of it. Like, Warhammer 40k and Halo are both two separate genres that honestly keep the style of war, but one keeps it to the bare minimum, where one just goes into the full extreme. Honestly, there would be a reason why people had simply either forgotten the genre or moved on to others. Because they have a different taste. They would see a different taste. They would want to see something better than absolute bloodshed and death. Or, better yet, probably be put into an actual movie animation, because Warhammer 40k barely had any animations back in its days. And they only had just game animations to support it. Like, I know that we got some now where it's called Hammer and Bolter, which you have to pay for to watch. And honestly, in my opinion, for how they try to make everything go, they kind of did it well. On my opinion, there's been a lot of people who's been saying that's absolutely bad, but honestly, they tried their best. The real thing I don't like what they had to do when they say they tried their best is that they had to cancel every single Warhammer 40k animation that was being produced on YouTube to be gone! Like, you got some of the good, absolute stuff that was on YouTube. People who had gifts were able to make some of the glorious Warhammer 40k animations that anyone has ever been able to see. And though it was free, and though that you had to just watch it for free, it was not the point. The point was the glory, the death, the true honor, the what it feels like to be a full Space Marine, taking blows, going forth, and just extending it to maximum. And Games Workshop took it all away. I'm not saying I'm not bad. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that I'm even happy either that they did it. Honestly, all that I see it is a noble sacrifice that was played. And though the one company had to get richer from it, they spread the word. And it was all because of that mighty man named Astartes, who was able to create one of the best, and I say it in absolute pride, the best Warhammer 40k animations that have ever been seen, that has been catching the eyes of other people back in its day. And people really didn't know. Half of the people of the world didn't know what Warhammer 40k was. And he was able to make that difference. And he was able to be gladly recruited into Games Workshop itself. Speaking of which, how do you feel among that?
I feel quite uneasy about it, because from what I've heard, which might be just rumors, is that all the work he's been doing for Games Workshop has been scrapped, and he's been fired, which I'm not sure if it's entirely true, but if so, then that was all just a waste of time.
Now, this is all new information for me. And by the way, if you really think that was me honestly praising Games Workshop, no, you're dead wrong. Despite them making good figures for tabletop reasons, I am not praising them because of that. I'm honestly only saying it just... Okay, I'm not just praising them, I'm just only trying to say it for what it is. Maybe that's a good way to say it. But really, this is all new news for me. And this is by you hearing this at random? Or...
This is just mishmashed, but just from what I've heard, not entirely sure if it's true or not. You know.
Okay. I guess they'll be noted in the near future. Maybe, if anything does happen. Well, beyond everything that has happened beyond the years, truly we have evolved to a good standpoint. What would you think, and I mean this really, what would you think if Warhammer 40k suddenly is no more? What if every single project had failed? What if, and I mean this, what if we failed as a community? How would you feel beyond that?
Quite honestly, I don't know what I would feel. I would feel very sorrowful, to be honest. And I don't know. I guess I'd just go on with my life, but, it'd be very unfortunate if that were to happen.
Indeed. The amount of sacrifices that we may have to make within our days, what we saw, what we believed in, all of it is just gone and thrown away. Beyond 40k, beyond the progress that we made as people, as ourselves. For me, I love the group to death. I even consider each and every one of you, even the newcomers, as family. Despite you would hate me or love me, I would always see you as my equal. As a brother or sister, or mother or father, even. Not mother, but you get the gist. It would just be really sad to know that I lost the second community that I loved, which honestly brings the fact that, for some of you who do not remember, I used to be part of an old community back in the day, and I was a Templar. Sadly, it retired, but in the last days of its efforts, we actually did a little raid where we end up raiding Roblox, and we did one of those. And we raided one of those fur infection games when it was popular back in the day. Though that we weren't able to fight back, the real fight back was running. And by God, we had some sacrifices and funny moments. That was the last time I saw my chapter. After that, I lost touch with everyone.
It's real unfortunate.
Yep. That's why I really...
I do think Crispell, very prominent member of the communities, has always been open to, people reaching out, wanting to talk, just in general, being a very warm-hearted person, a very kind person, lovable person, I would say.
Crispell, right?
Crispell, yes.
And if I'm correct, Crispell is the Imperial Space Marine, if I'm correct?
Yes, that's correct.
I'm honestly just being truthfully honest here, but the last time I was here, do forgive me if I say this, and I mean this in no disrespect for you, Crispell. He was a complete hard ass. And rightfully so he was, because he was actually doing the work. Actually really giving that motivation of just trying and full on brute forcing it, no matter what. Honestly, Jesper was doing good, and I'm glad that he was able to even still do good even up to this day. Really though, nah, there's no really to it. Honestly, beyond everyone who's gone, do you have a person who you miss?
Person who I miss the most?
Yes. Miss to fight along the side of battlefield. Miss to talk to. Miss to, anything beyond the above of just Celtic itself. Who do you miss?
I really missed Dr. Vanustus. Truly, one of the best of Chaos. You may not know him, but he was the newbie of Chaos. And a very, very great title to have, to be the newbie of Chaos. Bestowed upon him by CJST 2006. But sadly, due to some unknown circumstances, he had to leave the genre. And sadly, I haven't seen him since.
Very unfortunate. Very. I would want to get the time and patience to actually know him better. And better yet, probably invite him to the podcast. If he ever comes up. But, if he ever hears this, or ever decides to go back when this series has ever gone big, or small, whatever choose, maybe he shall come back with open arms, and probably discuss and tell the tales of his journey, of him trying to find either a good or a clever group. You know who I really miss?
Who you miss, Thunburn?
The very person who's able to make me who I am. Surely, it's not an IOM, but a little story wouldn't hurt. Just a little, not making it too long. I had a mentor. His name was Space Marine. Just average Space Marine. He had an Imperial... No, not an Imperial fist. a Blood Angel avatar, I believe. No, Blood Angel profile. There we go. He was wonderful. The time when I met him, we were just playing a sword game, Roblox, and he was truly dominating. Like, really dominating. He was a pure warrior that had truly excelled in everything that I saw as a person who played in Roblox. He was a tryhard, but a glorious one at that. And he would actually be saying a bunch of quotes, and I believe it's in Warhammer 40k, which I'm really starting to think for what he said is saying was from the Bible. If you kind of think about it. Anyways, this was a pure warrior. And then when I fought him, I was a noob. But we were able to slowly build that bond after we slowly fight together. After that, the friendship had kept on. We kept going with each other. And he was my very first friend of a mentor that I ever had. Till one fateful day he kind of disappeared. Where in his last regret, well, not last regrets, his final decision, where he had created the game. And that game had so many of the past battles that we ever so have. The journeys, the lessons, everything. He was the very reason why I got into 40k. And he was able to teach me so much about it. To the point that if there was other people who experienced it. And the final day, the final day is the day when he crowned me Space Marine. Gave me everything that I needed to know because I was ready. And you know what we did in order for me to do for my final test as a Space Marine, much less to become a Templar?
Oh, don't, Thunbird.
We had a fight. And not just any fight. A sword fight. You know RTS, where you just use the sword to just do that lunging attack and all?
Oh, I personally do not, Thunbird.
You do not remember Future Tops? You know?
Oh, Future Tops. Oh.
I think I must have said something else. What did I say again?
I'm not quite sure, but it quite literally was not Future Tops.
No, wait. Future Tops had a when we were doing other games. By the way, when we used to been doing other games to do training sessions in, we were doing it in Future Tops, and Future Tops was the main game where we could just there was a game mode that we did where we would have been able to use melee and just had a free for all. You don't remember that? Oh wait, you weren't in the Imperium mode. Oh wait, you did?
Well, I do remember just in general Future Tops as a game forged by some of the best people in clanning to make a game where everybody could gather together and fight. Fight the good fight, Thunburn. You know what I mean?
Yes, fight the good fight. Honestly, the real last person who still does not does Future Tops, but similarly keeps on the trend of Future Tops, but in a different game. Oliver. I believe he does it in the Dome. I actually like when he still does that.
I love Oliver. Truly,
Really love him, dude.
best Cadia has to offer.
Yep, and still kept on going. Honestly, he's a real inspiration why I keep on going. I actually want to become a commissar because even when he was still not able to join Caldega, he was still around to perform his duties, host every event every once in a while, and truly made himself a difference. To be fairly honest, I think I should really just join his patrol because those are the only games I'm able to play due to my internet just sucking right now. But really, the battle that we had was truly legendary. We traded hits, we died, we traded hits, we died. Honestly, it was just endless until the 10th death. Where, really, that was the last bit of thing that he ever said to me. The thing was, I was going for the lunge, and instead of fighting back or just dodging to the left, I was easily killable. He took the sword in. He died after that. That's Roblox death, right? I don't see it as that. After he died, he made the walk back up, saying that you've proven yourself worthy, girlfriend. God, I'm actually freaking crying right now. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. He was the first ever friend I ever had, and he had to go like permanently. Up to this day, I still try to look for him. I don't know where he is or is he gone, but one thing's for sure, I only wish that he has a proper life.
Me too, Thunder. Me too. Truly a story of the times. Truly a story. Just to show that you should improve and be the best you can be. Because, the bottom line is it's quality over quantity,
Yep.
Unburn?
Yep. And for the fact that he was the very reason that was able to give me who I am, who just made me of myself. I remember, and it's slowly fading away because of life. Friggin' sucks. Friggin' sucks. But we move on. And as long as we move on, we keep fighting. And once we keep fighting, nothing cannot stand in our way that shall truly break our spirits otherwise and tell us that we can't do so. That I say in full colors. And you know what? I actually gotten so good to voice acting to the point where I haven't even broken my voice. I've actually cried up to this day and I still can't. God, I really am good, but I really need to stop. But we have actually made it this far. And I say that we made it this far, we actually made 42 minutes. Do you wish to end it here?
You know what? Let's go for 8 more minutes. Throw some more questions at me.
Alright. What is your real true future goal? I know that you have attained Space Marine, and you have the skill to be proven otherwise to, well, give you a higher position. But you don't want to become a leader. What do you really want to become? And probably will soon be added to Chaos. What would be the one thing that would be the very thing that you would want as your goal?
My goal right now would be going for, I guess, Exalted Champion for Chaos.
Exalted Champion. If I'm correct, did Vitten not get Exalted Champion?
No,
Vidian.
Oh, Vidium. Oh, mixed me up there. Vidium got Chosen Legionnaire yesterday.
Oh, yes.
Chosen by the Dark Gods. Crispo. Horus Heresy.
Congratulations to you, Vitten. I wish you the best of luck in your terms in the future. Is Vitten not the very first Chaos Space Marine, though? Is he, or is he not? I don't know.
I'm not quite sure. I was not here to see the first few Chaos Space Marines. So, I would not know personally.
So you would want to become a champion of core. That's something to gun for. And honestly, if you really did go for it, you would have the skill to prove it. Much less take on the entire Imperium if you had to. You would be a walking force of death that cannot be killed with mere fire. We would even need to bring out the Space Marines to deal a dent into your high, mighty armor of glory, death, and collecting skulls for your god. Honestly, I'll be willing to at least see you have that glory. And when that happens, I'll be surely to strategize against you and either win or lost. Either way, we both will have fun.
True to that, Thunburn. True to that.
Hmm. And with that, honestly, what would you want in chaos? Preferably, preferably, if you were given the choice to to put anything, and I mean anything in the game, what would it be? But do note that this one thing has to only be one thing. That means it could be described as an armor, a weapon, a god, whatever it comes to your mind in Warhammer 40k. What do you want to be in Chaldea?
Great question.
Actually, what do you want in Chaldea? I want you to say what you want to be in Chaldea. So, sorry, I do apologize for that mistake, but continue.
It would be quite honestly. Um, Good question. How about let's bring it around back on that. Give me another question.
Okay. Let's see here. Another question. Ah! What if you had a different scenario where you would gun the leadership position? How would you fare in that?
Hmm. I think I would fare quite well. I would bring changes that I think would fit the chaos mindset of quality over quantity and the might makes right mentality.
Hmm. You surely have the words to prove it, plus the motivation to do so. Beyond all odds, you truly had ways of simply fight battles that you're not able to win, but still able to fight anyway. Truly give that spark in chaos and give that hope to humanity. I mean, sorry, not humanity. Uh, what do you guys say for your humanity word?
Chaos?
You know what? Let's just go with chaos. I honestly thought that there was more advanced word than that. Alright. Hmm. Wait a minute. I honestly had this idea for a while, just to pitch it, but I want to see how this goes. So, answer me this. If you were all of a sudden a cultist of some kind, just random, and you were on the field of battle, merely just attending anything, right? Just being a noble cultist on the battlefield trying to win. All of a sudden, you died. But in that death, you suddenly got put into another body of a cultist. It really doesn't matter how many times you die, you'll always be end up in another body of a cultist that has a different person, different name, something, and different something, I don't know. The main thing I'm actually trying to get to this point here is that how long would it take for you to master Master Chief like main character vibes in Warhammer 40k? How long would it take? How long would it take in human years in there?
In human years?
Yeah.
I'd say 5.
5 years?
Yep.
Explain how.
Well, truly, what I believe is that I'm the best player on Caldega. Better than Crispell, better than Madigan, better than Metaraux, better than Sturm, and better than Braylon Pitt. So I believe that quantifies to me being the best in general, if you know what I'm getting at.
Okay. I get what you're getting at. So 5 years. But why would you say 5 years, though? The battle never ends for cultists. Honestly, there's even a slight chance where you're able to go to the next battle or just be left behind there. Even if there would be even a second chance for you to get teleported. What would be your final end?
Quite honestly, not quite sure. Yeah, but I don't know, Thunburn.
Alright. If you don't know, just truly think about it. Honestly, anything could really happen in Warhammer 40k. You can even get mauled by a bunch of roaches, and they're not even bigger than you. They're just small. Well, my dear fellow friend, I thank you for having this time today, as this was a wonderful podcast for season 2, episode 1. Honestly, it's good to be back. It's good to do this stuff again, and it's good to know that, well, I'm trying to make it work. But with my determination and will, I'll be able to do anything. Honestly, as we make this podcast session come to its close, do you have anything to say for the audience, and maybe even for the old and past people who would want to know more?
Quite honestly, just keep going at it. Keep letting the long lies go in. Keep hiding in the blue. All my metaphors. Quality over quantity, man. Truly the best of the best. Just be the best you can be, and become the best.
Excellent words, say. Excellent words, say, Sonito. Well, this session is coming to a close. Whoever wants to at least be able to join my podcast, DM me, Thunburn1, within the IOM server, or wherever, and I'll be glad to add you among my list. That's all I ask for you is to be patient and wait for your turn. For the next session, we'll be able to do groups of 3s. And we'll have 3 particular guests that'll be joining us for this wonderful session. Hopefully you're able to still be here, and hopefully you're able to learn more. For now, we'll bid this episode adieu. You all have a wonderful day and enjoy yourself. Have a good night, good day, or good night. And be expecting many things in the future of the thuncast and the community of Caldega, IOM, Chaos, and many, many more. Take care.